It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. It is another morning where we are starting below the freezing point. It's cold in the Ozarks, but I have good news for you. Today, we start to turn things around. I have temperatures that are going to recover. We're going to see our numbers warm back up into the upper 50s today, 58 degrees for the high temperature. So, a welcome change after the record setting cold that we've had around in the Ozarks the last couple of days. We still have the sunshine to enjoy today as well, and a south breeze, still breezy. So there's a bit of a wind chill factor this morning. We are feeling like the 20s, even though low 30s is what you'll see on the thermometer. And then we will warm things up into the upper 50s, going 58 degrees for that afternoon high temperature. Lots happening in the upper levels of the atmosphere. We are seeing that really cold air plunge even further south. So many of our friends to the south experiencing the cold blast too, a little bit of an early shot of really cold air and freezing temperatures for much of the south. It's a frigid start to the day with bitter cold wind chills in the 20s, but we are heading in the right direction. Beginning today, we're back into the 50s. I have temps that get back into the 60s by tomorrow, and then we will see numbers that are going to be approaching 70 in a couple of days as we get closer to the weekend forecast. So things are looking pretty good for us. Today we're 58. Loads of sunshine in the forecast. It's going to feel really nice outside. Lots of sunshine today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. We start to see maybe some cloud cover move back into the region by Sunday. But I mean, this is a string of really nice fall weather. And the leaves are looking really beautiful. We're probably just slightly past peak, but if you were looking to do one of the fall foliage driving tours or something in the Ozarks, take some family photos, I think this weekend is still a good opportunity. We are starting to see some fall and brown a little bit, though, from all the rain that we had around last weekend. I have temperatures that will turn above average by the weekend. I mentioned a few days that will be approaching that 70-degree point. That's going to happen both Saturday and Sunday. So by the weekend, it's going to be nice to get outdoors. And a look at the extended outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Well, it shows the Ozarks kind of in between two air masses. We have this really amplified jet stream that's going to be setting up for early November. And for us, well, it probably means that temperatures are going to be near normal the second week of November. However, when we're in between kind of two air masses like that, oftentimes that can be kind of an active setup. So we're probably going to be pretty quiet this first week of November. And then next week, we may see more activity come our way in the form of rainfall. Temperature wise, though, things look like they're going to level out. We're not going to stay in the deep freeze like how we started the month with the record setting cold for November 1st. November 2nd, we're heading in the right direction. We're going to stay rain free in this forecast too for the remainder of this work week through the weekend. And then it's early next week, likely Monday, that we have the next best chance for some showers in the Ozarks. It does not look like an overwhelming amount of rain, but I do think we'll have at least some rain showers around. Monday, the only opportunity for rain in my extended forecast, and temperatures get back closer to average next week too after a nice little warm up timed perfectly for the weekend forecast. Around the country, I already mentioned that we're seeing a cold snap for much of the country. Of course, we've already experienced our cold snap here. The growing season is done in the Ozarks. We are now seeing that frost and freeze to millions in the south. Our friends down in Texas waking up to some frost advisories, maybe some frost on the grass. We also have that back through portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, the south, seeing a really cold blast of weather. And then as we get closer to the weekend, we are also going to be talking about warm temperatures here, but we fall back this weekend. It's time for the time change, unbelievably. So it's going to be getting real dark next week, but light earlier in the day. I don't know. People hate it. People love it. I guess I'm kind of indifferent on the time change. It's happening though, this weekend, whether we want it to or not. All right. It is time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister question, sponsored by Scooters Coffee. And this one was kind of an interesting Halloween themed one. I'm still on the Halloween kick, even though we're in November now. I've seen a lot of people, by the way, moving on to Christmas. I'm not there yet. I'm going to give Thanksgiving its moment, and then I'll move on. What famous classic novel began as an attempt to win a ghost story competition? And the options here, you probably have heard of some of these famous novels. So, do you think it was A, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, B, Frankenstein, C, The Picture of Dorian Gray, or D, The Island of Dr. Moreau? That one I had actually not heard of, but I looked up the movie trailer and it might be one of those that I put on the list to go back and watch next Halloween. But if you guessed B, Frankenstein, you would be correct. This was actually originally an attempt to win a writing competition. Um, Kind of interesting. I did not know that. It was a ghost story competition, a who can write the spookiest story. It tells, of course, the story of Victor Frankenstein, the young scientist who creates a creature with an unorthodox scientific experiment. We know the rest, the Frankenstein monster, but originally written by an 18-year-old to win a ghost story competition and has now morphed into this Frankenstein, which will, of course, be a character uh, forever. All right, here's your question for tomorrow. What is the oldest organized sport in North America? Do you think it is A, soccer, B, baseball, C, lacrosse, or D, cricket? Head on over to aroundtheozarks.com. You can submit your guess there. You have a chance to win a $20 gift card to Scooter's Coffee every single day of the week. That's what we're giving away Monday through Friday. It's too good to pass up on, so make sure you head on over, submit your guess, take a stab at it. All correct entries will be entered to win that gift card, so might as well attempt. No Googling, that takes all the fun out of it. But you can also find some weather information if you head on over to the website. That's aroundtheozarks.com. Thanks so much for listening this morning. It's going to be a beautiful day, sunshine, 58 degrees, south wind, and we are warming on up for the rest of the work week. So have a fantastic day.